So guys, on our last live stream, we were talking about our virgins hypocrites, and somehow it just took me down this rabbit hole of, I don't know how, but I ended up thinking so much about monogamy and polygamy since we're talking about a lot of promiscuity. And I just started thinking, how is monogamy and polygamy in today's age? Because we find that the African culture is still very much alive, but when we look in the Western culture, some places it's actually illegal to perform polygamy. And I just guess I started going down this rabbit hole of searching videos concerning monogamy and polygamy for our upcoming live stream. We're going to be talking more into monogamy and polygamy. So I just thought maybe we should have a video where I do my homework with you guys, and I'm going to get your comments firsthand about monogamy and polygamy. We're going to be watching some TikToks where we're going to find people debating on the two stance. For the upcoming live stream, if you want to join the discussion on monogamy versus polygamy, feel free to send us a request on WhatsApp. We're going to drop a number below where you can send your request to join the conversation. I believe it's going to be something that are going to have very different opinions on, because when we come to the topic of monogamy and polygamy, everyone always seems to have different opinions, and it's always like a divided crowd. I believe even the comments under this video are going to be divided. So feel free to drop your comments. This is a report, and I'm your host, and Doris. But before getting to the video, or should I say videos, make sure to like and subscribe to the Next Generation Media channel if you have not yet, so you don't get to miss out on any of our subsequent videos. So without much ado, let's get into the videos.
Virtually every man is a potential King Solomon.
It's nature, nothing you can do about it. It's an idea God put into man.
Okay.
Polygamy on its own is a social construct. It is nowhere in anybody's DNA to be polygamous.
I'm married. I cannot tell you that I've not gotten to a point where somebody else crossed my mind. I decided to remember the commitment I made to my wife, and that commitment supersedes the feeling you have.
Competition is healthy for business. If you come back home and your wife is giving you that headache, and you, instead of you to just carry your depression and go to your bed, or more, carry your phone, call your next girl, more go there, happiness there.
It's ojukokoro, it's just selfishness. I believe that you cannot keep two men happy at the same level. It's not possible.
If a woman does that, she has a competition that if you give me headache, somebody else is there to give me happiness. She go behave.
Okay. We're starting off strong here, guys. I believe this video is from Cruz. I think our last two live streams were reacting to videos that they gave us. And already, first of all, I think I should take my stand on surprise, monogamy. I don't think anybody's surprised by that. I think maybe it's expected at this point. But yeah, I'm for monogamy. And from the video, there are already a lot of things that I disagree with. I understand. That's one thing I understand, why people have certain opinions on things, that why men might think in a certain way. Like the guy that was like, every man is inbred wants to be a King Solomon, or it's like it's a potential King Solomon. Yeah, I guess so. I guess so in a way, like yes and no, because I guess that we're just being told now that men will want to have multiple wives. I don't believe every man wants to go down the road of having many women, multiple men, to the point of Solomon, I believe, had more than 1,000 women. I don't think every man wants to be a King Solomon. And also, I don't think every man has the potential to be one, because they don't have the finances either. But regardless of the finances, I don't think personally, even if they were given that option, even if they had all the finance and everything, most men would not want to go down the path of King Solomon. So that's a very bad example that we keep taking on and forgetting the reality of it. 1,000 women is something that I don't think many men grasp. 1,000 women. Also, we have the other opinion where the guy was like, competition is good for business. So like, we're taking now marriage as a business, and we're saying, okay, I'm going to create my home in such a way that my wife is going to always be in competition with every other woman out there. She's going to want to feel like she has to do more every single time, so I don't get to walk out on her. Granted, your spouse should actually do their best to be the best partner to you, but creating an environment where they already feel like they have to be in constant competition with people outside, I think it's already creating like a toxic environment on my point of view. Also, it's to ask yourself, like, if you're going to be creating a competitive environment in your home, then you have to realize that if you're going to say marriage is business, then it's going to go both ways. It's a transaction, then it's something that you have have to be providing for your wife and she has to be providing for you. So if you're going to see, you're going to have all these other women that are going to keep on her toes, you should understand that your wife also is going to have that mentality that, oh, there are these other guys that can do this, and you should keep you on your toes too. I think sometimes the competition is just like one-sided, like, okay, women, if you don't stay in this line, out. Like, but no, for men it's like, I'm not going to say generalize the statement, but I feel like most men want to be like, a woman has no choice. She has to meet this standard or out. And men just like, I could just need the money. And it's like, yeah, that's the one standard all of them have. That's the first video. I already have a lot of opinions. Let's not talk much. Let's go to the second video.
I don't believe that people in general, like humans, are supposed to be monogamous with each other.
Right.
So that's when we differ. And you want to have a relationship, like you want to get married and have children and all that happy family stuff.
You don't think it's possible for people to be in monogamous relationships?
I
'Cause you're
think
saying you don't believe in it.
there's a reason to why it's so difficult.
There's so many reasons to why it's so difficult. But let's not glamorize polyamorous relationships either. They're not simple.
True.
They're not simple. That's
Yeah.
actually more work than a monogamous relationship. At the end of the day, every relationship has its own ups and downs. But
Yeah,
I feel
but
like
this-
monogamous relationship, it's easier on so many different levels. There's some
How is that
some
easier?
perks.
So one thing I really appreciate about this particular video is, I think, honesty on both ends. Like, she was very honest about the fact that monogamous relationships are difficult and they are rewarding, because you see, she made that happy comments like monogamous relationships are some sort of a fairy tale, like almost like they are difficult to achieve. It's not like saying that they're impossible, but they're difficult. And there is a lot of work that's been put into it. But I like the fact that he came around and made her to understand that even in all the polygamous relationship, it still takes the work. And I'll have to argue with him and like join voices with me say like, yeah, it takes me more work to be in polygamous relationship. Why? I believe there are a lot, when you start including a lot of participants, like I say, a lot of other entities into a relationship, there is a higher chance of jealousy. There's all the problems you have within two people, you're not going to add a third person and the problems become easier. So you're saying that if between I and you we have problems that are already so difficult for us to resolve, adding a third person is not going to make it easier. I believe it's going to increase certain problems. So I like the honesty on both ends, where she was like, she understands that this is somehow somewhat of a fairy tale, like everybody will want to have that. I believe sometimes we have just learned how to let go of certain expectations and just accept that certain levels of happiness in a relationship or in a marriage cannot exist, or we cannot achieve those levels of fulfillment because they are difficult. Takes me back to like when we look at 3 or 2 generations before us, we tend to find families or marriages that lasted longer. We had a father and mother, and they will last, maybe we're celebrating more 50th anniversaries. I remember I attended a 50th anniversary just some months back, and it was really, really wholesome to watch them take their vows again. I just sat there, I was like, what happened to the generation? When did we lose touch with such fulfillment in marriage? Like, why can't we find this again? Why is this now so rare? And the fact that we are prioritizing polygamous relationships, and these polygamous relationships are not still giving us this fulfillment that these couples who went through monogamous relationships had, it begs us to ask, what happened? Like, is it that we as a generation stopped trying hard enough to in our marriages? Because I believe many people now don't really try the hardest in their marriages. I think everyone is expecting marriage to be easy, like we're in the Android generation, because our gadgets have gotten more easier. Like certain tasks that were difficult for us back then, maybe financial-wise, technology-wise, infrastructure-wise, have gotten so much easier. And we are expecting other things such as marriage to get easier along the way, maybe with all the books that have been written, but we should assume that some things are still going to have a certain level of difficulty that we cannot cross with technology, we cannot cross with some infrastructures or whatever development. We still have to put in the same work. So I do very much like this video. I like the transparency on both sides. Yeah, so let's watch the next video.
We've only been practicing polygamy for 2 years.
Whose idea was it to start practicing this lifestyle?
Ding, 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 you got it, girl. It
definitely was hers.
was definitely my idea. We were married monogamously. Marriage was great, but I noticed something about my husband. Naeem thrives on love and support. The more that I give to him, the greater he becomes. So what more could he be if there's more than one doing the same thing for him?
Okay. I remember when I saw this video, I just knew I wanted it to be a part of what I'm going to talk about, because you find a couple, they have been married for 13 years, a monogamous relationship, and they're happy. Everything is great. She said the marriage was great. She said she was giving her husband love and support, and he was doing great. And she just sat down one day and she was like, you know what? If all this love and support I'm giving you and you're doing this great, like all the love I'm giving you, you're thriving on it, I think if I added the second woman to this entire equation, it's going to make you grow more as a man. And he's like, oh, sure, yeah, of course, I'd love to have a third party that's going to make me grow better. Like, I don't know how to wrap my head around this, but it's already so outrageous. Like, that's my opinion. I would never go in for something like this. There is a reason why, yes, like the Bible says, he that finds a wife finds a good thing. It's no rocket science that your man is prospering with your presence, that you are prospering with his presence. It's not like, sometimes people feel like only like men benefit from the presence of women, but women benefit as well from the presence of men. So it brings us to a point where you are not realizing that it's this union, is this entire commitment you have made to each other that you are fulfilling so well already, that is blossoming into this greatness. He will not stop becoming great. All right, you don't need to add a third party to somehow speed up the growth process. You can actually be adding more salt to a soup that is already tasting just fine. That's how I feel. I feel like she had prepared this big pot of food, this big pot of soup, and it's already tasting so, and she was like, you know what, let me add a little more seasoning to this so it's going to make it taste better. And at the end of the day, you find out that it might just make it worse. It might just lead to divorce. Your 13 years of marriage might just actually end up very terribly because you are thinking that this is supposed to make your husband become greater. I don't even know, like, I can't really grasp any woman going, I want to include a third party into this marriage because I feel like my husband needs the more love and support, and I feel like she's just tired. Honestly, many people, I think many comments under this video were like, she's tired. Like, she could not say that she's tired of being being his support system, and she just wanted somebody to take some load off her. Like, if you feel like you're exhausted, you can actually communicate with your partner and take a break and stuff like that. You don't need to include a third party. But then again, everyone has the way they deal with their marital issues. They say the marriage problems are for married people. So I cannot do much of judging on that, but that's just my opinion on this entire matter. So let's watch the next video.
You think polyamory is selfish? I think monogamy is the selfish relationship structure because you want one person all to yourself, you don't want to share them with anyone else. That's what I hear from monogamous people when they talk about why they don't want to do polyamory. They get too jealous, they don't want to share their partner with other people. Don't you see the possessive language in that? That's why monogamous people cheat, because they want to have the freedom of multiple partners without allowing their partners the same autonomy and freedom. I think that polyamory is selfless, not selfish, because I love my partner, I want them to get everything they want to deserve, I want them to go out in the world and experience as much love and affection they possibly could. How is that selfish?
Monogamy is selfless. You are saying to your partner, I love you, and you can trust me to stick with you through thick and thin, right? It's such a sacrifice. It's a long-term commitment. And that is how monogamy is so selfless.
Okay, another video, another wahala. This particular video, first thing first, I agree with like 80% of what the woman said, and like 20% disagree. Every part where she said in a monogamous relationship, like you want your partner all to yourself, you don't want to share them with anybody, yes. That's the truth, yes. Like if, let me say I'm in a monogamous relationship, I don't want to share my partner. That's the entire point. We signed on a paper and said, you're mine. You put that ring on my finger and said, you're mine. I put the ring on your finger and called you mine. That's the entire point of a monogamous relationship. So I think, I don't know, is that supposed to like somehow shame me for wanting that? No, like I'm very transparent and saying, yeah, I don't want to share. Honey boy, I don't want to share what's mine. And that's the entire beauty, I believe, in monogamy, is having, it's not like somebody would call it selfish, like you are trying to be possessive, but in the sense, when I say I'm entering into a monogamous relationship, I go with the intention of wanting to be possessed. I don't think people realize people that go into a monogamous relationship should go with the intention of wanting to be possessed. I think that's coming out very funny. I don't know. Yeah, when you're going to a monogamous relationship, you should go with the intention of wanting to be possessed, and not just possessing somebody. Because I think people go into sign contracts during marriage and like monogamy, and they are looking to this relationship where they get to have complete access to this person, but give this person limited access to themselves. The entire point is you come and you sign, when you sign those papers, when you make those vows, when you say all those words of to death do us part, oh, I love you to infinity and back, well, you are saying that I am yours. I don't want to belong to anybody else. Not just I won't belong to anybody else. I don't want to belong to anybody else. And that's the entire beauty. It is the fact that, you know, you can't belong to many people. I think that's what people forget. It's the fact in marriage, it's not that the possibility is erased, it's that you kill that desire. You're working on killing that desire. Like, I know I can't go out and cheat on you. Nothing is stopping me from doing that. I know that I can go out and be this other person, have these multiple partners, even if I promised you this. But I'm telling you, I'm promising you, I'm giving this vow to you that I choose to belong only to you. I know I can't do this, but I choose not to. That is a selfless action. Selflessness is when you take all the desires that yourself might want. Because honestly, in a relationship, I feel like when you're married, there are certain things that your partner will not be able to fill in. There are certain aspects. Some people say that women always crave so much attention. They say sometimes men cannot give enough attention to women, and men is like they want some multiple sex partners and all of that. And it'll be like men say, okay, no, they cannot be one man because one man is not enough for them. I think sometimes men have to realize that you cannot be one man because one man sometimes doesn't fit the bill. It's like the attention that women want sometimes. Some men are like, I don't know what she wants. Like many men give that statement. I don't just know what this woman wants. Yeah, sometimes it is overwhelming. Sometimes we sit down like maybe you want a flower in the morning, you want that she buy you chocolates, you want that she do that. Sometimes it's really too much that women ask for. But this, I know they are desires, like the way you maybe might have a high sexual drive and all of that. So she might have other desires that might seem insignificant to you, and you have desires that might seem insignificant to her and might not warrant them cheating on you. But at the end of the day, monogamy is you choosing that I have these desires that I want to be fulfilled outside, and yet that maybe you cannot fulfill, and yet I'm choosing to not put the desires above you. I'm choosing to lay down the desires for you. I'm choosing to choose you above me, above these desires. So that's a selfless action. It's like, I want this for me, but I'm choosing you for me. Like, I'm choosing you to be more important than these other things that I want for myself. So, yeah. So everything she said, like monogamy relationship really has a lot of me, like I want you to belong to me, but also it's reciprocated by saying I want to belong to just you. And I feel that's the beauty in all of it. And the guy made a clear point. I can't even call, like I said, I'm on the monogamous side, so it might be able to be one-sided here. Like, I take all his parts of the selflessness. You are choosing to be committed to this person and spend your entire life, so you're going to stick through thick and thin. Many people don't follow through with that, but that's the entire thing of it. If you're saying you're going with somebody, you have to go through them, through the thick and thin, through the highs and lows, sickness and health. All those things are not just words we say, although now I believe many people just say because the pastor says she repeats it after him. But these are words that we should always say. So yeah, I believe if monogamy was done right, the beauty of it will be more seen. Just like a lot of people are taking monogamy and not doing monogamy. For say, yeah, I think that would be the problem that we're going to have in society today. Yeah, let's watch. I believe this will be our last video. Let's watch that.
La polygamie est le type de mariage que les enfants doivent faire. Je conseille la polygamie à tout le monde, sauf les gens matures. Okay. D'accord? Okay. Quelqu'un de mature ne peut pas aller dans la polygamie, il ira dans la monogamie. Parce que pour être marié avec une seule femme ou un seul homme pendant longtemps, il faut avoir une vision de soi-même très haute. Et il faut comprendre que déjà nous-mêmes, seuls, on a beaucoup de challenges à traverser. On doit apprendre à se connaître. Apprendre à connaître l'autre et s'accomplir, parce que je tiens à dire que avoir une seule femme ou avoir un seul mari, c'est une question de divinité. C'est une expression de la divinité que vous êtes, que vous mettez au service d'une autre divinité.
All right. Again, Monogamy Club, I really believe we're winning. I really love this man's intake on this entire issue. And I believe our live stream is going to be so interesting because I really believe we're going to have a lot of other opinions. We're going to hear a lot of people maybe having opinions on the polygamy side. For now, it's just me, and just like drop your comments down below so we can have more discussion about this on this particular video. But the point she made, I believe, was so strong. She started by saying, first of all, she advised that polygamy is for children. Like, everybody in the world should do polygamy except mature people. I like the exception because I believe it takes a level of maturity, a level of consciousness, of focus in life to go about monogamy. Many people actually agree with this. Even people that go through polygamy, they agree. They see it like something that is almost like a fairy tale, like cannot do it, because it takes a level of maturity, a level of consecration not for yourself, but with your vision, like you know where you're going to. People who have a particular vision for their life and they are very driven and not easily lapsed by their desires will mostly go with monogamy. We want one man, one woman to spend the rest of their life with. It's like you have a place you're going to and you need one companion